Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Simply Brilliant for this Tuesday, March 10th of 2026. Time is flying by, and we are doing good this morning. Hopefully, everybody is recuperated from losing an hour of sleep on Saturday night, Sunday morning. I was out on Saturday night with a bunch of college friends in Philadelphia for dinner, and we had this conversation of, so what happens at 2 o'clock in the morning? Being old men now, we don't stay up that late. So what happens like when the clock changes on your cell phone, you know, so 2 o'clock in the morning really becomes 3 o'clock in the morning because it springs forward. So of course, since I had that in my mind all night, I couldn't sleep. So I did watch and my phone went from 2 o'clock, okay, to 3:01. It was really kind of creepy, but I did watch it because when you think about something, you can't sleep. And right now, there's a lot going on in Tom's River, having a hard time sleeping, thinking about things that are going on. Because again, people ask me all the time, why do you get involved? Why are you involved? I love where I live. I love my community. I love the people. I'm not born and raised in Tom's River. I'm born and raised in Franklin Township, just outside New Brunswick in Somerset County. But I've been here since 1993. I love this place. I think there's no better place in New Jersey, if not America, to live than Tom's River, New Jersey. I always kid around and I say, I mean, where else? You got the ocean, we got the bay, we got the river. Okay. You want to drive an hour and 10 minutes to New York, you want to drive an hour and 10 minutes to Philly, you want to drive 2.5 hours to Baltimore, 3 hours to DC, you want to go to the mountains. I mean, it is the Mecca of America. So that's why I like it so much. And that's why I talk about it. That's why I fight for it. And that's why I'm involved. And speaking of involvement, I don't always have a sports jacket on and a nice shirt, but I have a board meeting this morning at Community Medical Center. I do sit on the board of Community Medical Center and excited because today we also have the president of RWJ Barnabas. Mr. Mark Madigan will be there this morning, so looking forward to hearing what he has to say about the state of the system. And speaking of the state of the system, today, I believe at noon, don't quote me on the time, new Governor Mikey Sherrill will give her budget address. It'll really be the first time we get an opportunity to see what the plans are, what her plans are for New Jersey. We really haven't heard a lot or seen it a lot over the first 60 plus days. We didn't hear a lot in the campaign. But she's governor, and it's funny and quickly diverge. Sunday was Rutgers' final home game for basketball. They crushed Penn State. That always makes a very good day. You could beat any team, but when you beat Penn State, that's a good thing when you're a Rutgers grad or a Rutgers fan. And so Governor Sherrill was there. I will tell you, Governor Murphy came to many, many games. Didn't see Governor Christie much over the years. Governor Corzine came to many football and basketball games. And I have good seats because I have really good friends and we go in together and we have the opportunity for good seats. So because of that, the governor sits right in front of me. And so there is a lot of opportunity during the game to cheer on Rutgers. And there's also a lot of opportunity to have one-on-one conversations. And to me, this is the governor of New Jersey. And so, I walked up to Governor Sherrill. I introduced myself. We started talking about LSRP, about site remediation, about environment, about Tom's River, talking forward. And she goes, would you like a picture? And of course, I want a picture. Of course. So I took a picture. And if you know anything about me, I put everything on social media. And so I put a picture up of myself with the governor. If you don't know this, the governor is a Democrat. I am a Republican. I am called out as a Democrat by Tom's River Mayor Dan Roderick because of my views on the homelessness, on affordable housing, and all these different things that he shouts from. He likes to attack me on. I am a registered Republican, a declared Republican since I'm 18 years old. But I will tell you, I've voted Democrat from time to time based upon who the candidate is and who's best for that position. So I put that picture up. My God, people attack the crap out of me, but not on social media, which I do respect. They went right at me on text messages and phone calls, which I thought was funny. But at the same time, hey, you know what? I got an in now. I can tie back to that moment. I know I'll have plenty of opportunities over the next 4 years to see Governor Sherrill, and we'll go back and remember, because what I said to her is something I say all the time. I said, "You might forget my face, but you won't forget my name, because brilliant will stick out in your mind next time you see me." And she started laughing, and so we had a good chuckle about it. But, with that said, I want to talk this morning, and I did say that tomorrow I'm going to be on again, and then Thursday morning, because this is a big week in Toms River. So tonight, 6 p.m., we have the Toms River special meeting of the planning board called by the mayor of Toms River. And really it's about one thing. It's about affordable housing. There's a few things on the agenda, but they all have to do about affordable housing, and they have to do with the planning board changing the master plan to accommodate what basically Mr. Roderick is trying to sell to the council to approve tomorrow night at the council meeting. And I say sell, we know that there was a vote in December. We know the plan was approved in December, and the court approved it the first week of January. So there is one major change to it, and that major change is at Hope's Crossing, which appears to equal about 125 units backed out of the deal. And Mayor Roderick is replacing it with multifamily residential development on Route 9 on property owned by Toms River. And I think we need to know more. And I think the council needs to know more. Whether the planning board tonight refers it over to the council and gives their endorsement. So, the planning board's run by the mayor. The mayor sits on the planning board. The appointments of the planning board are the mayor's, except for the one which is a representative council, and that is Councilman Clinton Bradley from Ward 2. So I want to go over a couple things and hit a couple points, but I'm going to urge you, okay, come out tonight at 6 p.m. and listen to the master plan, because that affects you living here in Toms River, and these changes affect you. And relative to the way they affect you, we definitely know that I keep saying councilman, I wish, that Mayor Roderick is affected by it and very concerned. And I don't think he's concerned for the reasons he says he is. He says he's concerned because, there's going to be 5,000 or 8,000 homes built, and we know he blows things out of proportion. We don't think it's because he really cares about the residents of Toms River. But there's definitely deals behind the scenes that occur, because when you talk development, you talk engineers, you talk attorneys, you talk planners, you talk surveyors, you talk money, because these are the people who hand out campaign funds to people running for election. And if you don't think Daniel Roderick is not thinking about 2027 every day, he is. He has his first fundraiser already scheduled for later this month. We'll talk about that at a later date. I did something this morning I don't normally do. I put together some notes, so I'm going to go over through my notes. Usually I just go right off the cuff, but I think this is such an important matter, and I want to make sure that I'm clear in a short period of time so that people watch it. Okay. And last night, Daniel Roderick doubled down and sent a letter to the residents of Lake Ridge, because there is a Route 70 inclusive development, which looks to be about 134 affordable housing units to be built right on Massachusetts and 9, up Massachusetts, right on the Lakewood border. And it's going to impact the residents of Lake Ridge. So he sent a letter out. And I want to hit some of the points of the letter, because let's just say there was misinformation in the letter. Okay. Taking a close look at this letter, there are two major areas where the information presented to the residents. And it's interesting, too. It was addressed to Lake Ridge. I don't live in Lake Ridge. I got a text of the letter from the mayor. So I think it went out town-wide to make his point. But, there's information that was misleading and incomplete. Okay. And those two issues matter because they directly affect what could be built in Toms River, how dense the development could be, and how it could impact our neighborhoods, our traffic, and our quality of life. And by the way, I don't think we're going to see the New Jersey DOT in my lifetime, possibly yours, do anything about the traffic on Route 9. We're going to have to live with that as residents of Toms River. So adding more dense development does not make sense. And Route 70 is no better either, but at least it's wider. So what we're going to talk about is this proposed Route 70 development near Lake Ridge. The downtown redevelopment came up in the letter too, because he can't write a letter unless he attacks somebody, and he attacked Councilman Nivison. And how these issues connect to high density zoning being proposed on Route 9. Because it's all happening right now, and you really need to understand what's going on. Okay. First, Route 70 development near Lake Ridge. In the mayor's letter, he states the township's affordable housing plan requires the creation of 183 affordable units, and 100 of those units would be built on Route 70. I already said it's about 134. First glance, this might sound like a modest project, but here are the part that's not explained. Affordable housing development in New Jersey are almost always built as what is called inclusionary housing. Okay, that means a portion of the housing are affordable, but while a majority are at market rate housing. The formula is usually 20% affordable, 80% market rate. When you hear that there's 100 affordable housing, that doesn't mean there's 100 units. It means it could be 5 times larger, or approximately 500 total apartments. So that would give you 100 units of affordable, 400 market, and about 500 total. Because keep in mind, developers need to make money. And you're not always going to make money just on affordable housing. You're probably not going to make money. This is high density right in the area of Lake Ridge. They're looking to change this to multifamily 18. So that's 18 homes per acre. So that equals traffic, questionable infrastructure. What does it do to the schools? Because now you're going to have an influx of people who are going to probably be paying rent, not purchasing these properties. We don't know yet, but most affordable are rental properties. It changes the overall character of that neighborhood. And if you've been up to Lake Ridge on the corner of Massachusetts and 70, or over by Whitesville and 70, they're kind of wooded areas, not densely populated, and the houses that are in the area are really nice. Okay, not saying that these won't be nice, but the residents deserve to know what is the full scope, what is going to happen, and the planning board should ask these questions and know what is the total number of units, how is this going to affect the town, and don't just take the word of the mayor. I want to hear from the planner. I want to hear from the attorney. The second issue in the letter, he discusses the downtown redevelopment and suggests the council members who question the administration were siding with developers. Okay. But what the letter doesn't mention is the Superior Court Judge Gertner, recently ruled against Toms River and the mayor in the first phase of this case. Judge Gertner determined the township did not properly follow the legal procedures required under New Jersey redevelopment law when attempting to rescind the downtown redevelopment designation. Now, this is important because there's also some questions if tonight's special planning board meeting has been properly publicly noticed. We'll talk about that probably tomorrow. But there's a public process. There's a proper process that needs to be followed. And the court said they didn't do it, and they overturned the township's actions. This means that this issue is not simply about supporting or opposing redevelopment, but it's about what's legally right under the laws of New Jersey and doing things right. The court ruled Toms River didn't do it right, and the context of the way the mayor painted it in the letter was incorrect. Okay, but the bigger picture of this all is density housing in Toms River. Okay. At the same time this letter is circulating, the township's proposing new zoning changes, again, on Route 70 in Massachusetts to go to multifamily 18, and on Route 9, changing highway business properties owned by Toms River to multifamily 16, so that's 16 units per acre, to create a high-density residential zoning, which will be 100% affordable housing on these 2 lots that he's designated for Beacon Estates. Talked about that the other day, to do development there to replace the Hope's Crossing that was in the original plan. Okay. This is not a small change. This is not one small location, because the mayor's proposal is not just those 2 lots that are in the affordable housing plan. He has like 70 acres on Route 9 that he wants to change to multifamily 16, which could create 1,300 homes. I understand affordable housing is required by law. I understand that we need to satisfy that requirement. And the mayor has said he has done the best job ever in the state of New Jersey because most of his plan for affordable housing is extending pilots, which is payment in lieu of taxes on properties, and extending deed notices on affordable housing so they don't become market. Great tool to use. That's good. But getting away from that and doing high density zoning changes on Route 9 and adjacent to Lake Ridge is maybe not the right way to do it. I'm not a planner, I'm not the expert, but we really should be going back to the drawing board and figuring out a better way because adding traffic to these corridors, okay, adding traffic and adding infrastructure where we're already stretched thin at 100,000 people in this town is not the right decision. And our leaders should know that. And what do you need to do? You need to be heard. Tonight, 6 p.m., a special planning board meeting where they're going to address these zoning changes and change the master plan. Okay. And I keep talking about this. The master plan is what is prepared for over years and by planners, by experts who say, this is why we should do something to protect growth. They use smart growth to protect your infrastructure, to protect your schools, to protect your citizens. This wasn't done here. This was done in a back room, and that's my concern. And it was also done to satisfy one requirement as opposed to our requirements. This is what concerns me the most, and it should concern you. Not just if you live in North Dover, if you live anywhere in Toms River. Because traffic on Route 9 affects you in downtown Toms River. I was on Whitesville Road coming out of Lakewood last night at 5 o'clock. I was backed up to Jackson trying to get to the traffic light at Route 70. That should not happen. And that's before these high density houses are going in. We need to really speak up. And I will tell you, if I hear in complete transparency exactly how many houses, and I hear why it's being done, and there's no other possible alternative in the entire world, I will jump on board. But I know that I'm not going to hear that. And I know that's not true. I know there are other options. And we need to investigate those options. And I don't think we're doing that. I wanted to keep this short and sweet. I probably did not do a good idea. Tonight, 6 p.m., special meeting of the Toms River Planning Board. You'll see Daniel Roderick probably on the dais as well as the planning board. Hopefully, we will hear from a planner who has worked on this plan, not just the attorney, and not give the attorney all due respect. He's a good attorney and he's worked on this plan. But I want to hear somebody who's the professional in planning or engineering who's worked on this plan. I don't want to hear from Daniel Roderick. I want to hear from the person who supports this and puts their license on the line that this is the best available. And because they are changing the dynamic and makeup of Toms River overnight. And I don't think it should be happening. I'm Phil Brilliant. This is Simply Brilliant. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow morning again because there's so much going on in Toms River you need to know about. Bye-bye.